segment. We make sure we keep it local to the city as well. We have a show B&B Your Business segment as well too. So from time to time we give relationship advice, any types of questions as well too. So and we're always out at events. So we're not just about just our podcast. It's about almost a network or a brand as well too. So we've been very successful. We've been ranked on iTunes quite a bit over the last year, and only being in existence for about 14 months. We've done a great job and still growing. So I thank you, Amber, for having us on the show today.
I'm so excited because I plan on learning a ton from you. And actually, there's somebody who has kind of made me their mentor just by default. And so they're asking me a lot of questions and reaching out to me. And they have a really dope podcast that I think they're like 2 or 3 episodes in. But I was like, I was talking on the phone last night and I was like, girl, I got you. I'm going to ask Brian all them questions.
Seriously.
So I'm so excited to learn from you because I've
Absolutely.
listened to quite a few of your shows and they're really dope. And I like you've got everything structured. Like you said, I could tell it's branded. It's very well branded.
Yep.
I love it. I love that, the dynamic between you and your co-host. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
So I'm excited. I'm so excited to have you
Any
on.
question you want, you can ask.
For sure. And I'm probably even after the show, I'm having a million more.
Absolutely. I can help.
So over here we have Hunter Casperson, also known as Hunty Beats, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about you and what you do, because I think you have an interesting kind of story.
Sweet. Well, my name is Hunter Casperson, and if this wasn't confusing enough with the Hunters, his stage name is B Hun, and my stage name is Hunty Beats. So I mean,
Wow.
It's also pretty close. But yeah, I'm I'm a professional beatboxer here in the United States, I guess internationally, and I guess it kind of just started with me making noises as a kid. I go around and I perform solo performances. I sort of brand myself as an artist/musician because a lot of people request performances that aren't straight beatboxing. So applying skills to like loop stations and lending DJs, my sound effects, that sort of thing. Just kind of finding a name for myself in like the vocal percussion, sound effects, beatboxing world is what I'm up to right now.
So when, as a child, did you decide that you can take your noise-making abilities and turn it into something profitable or something that you can pursue professionally?
Well, that's definitely a story that starts, it's kind of harsh. My parents used to say the noises were annoying when I was little because, you make them over and over. You're on the long car rides and you're making the same noise over and over. And I was like, I know I'm doing these noises and people can't make them, so they got to be cool, But, like, as a parent and just, like, I'm not a parent, but as a parent, I can understand how it would be annoying. I took a music class right after. I started listening to music, started imitating some stuff, learned some rhythm, some harmony, that sort of thing. And I was like, all right, I'm doing this because I like it. This is me.
That's awesome. So now you said that you you perform in front of audiences. What's the largest audience that you've performed in front of? Do you know?
Oh, actually, the largest audience I performed in front of was actually a work gig last fall at Quicken Loans, who I'm working for now. They have the all company awards called the Gilbies, and I was able to get up on stage and perform for every single one of our team members across the entire Quicken Loans and family of companies. I think the largest crowd at one time was anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 with the company, and this was over a spread of a week, and this was every day, 4 days in Detroit. Then we flew out to Arizona and performed for.
But wait a minute, but they live stream those, so you're performing for virtual employees too. So it was probably up in like the 10,000, right?
It was large.
I mean, because they have 16,000, 17,000 employees.
Yeah,
so.
16,000, 17,000. And
Wow.
a lot couldn't attend. So that was very, very humbling because I think I jumped from like my biggest audience being 300 to 400 to adding a 0 on that, and it was a lot, but. It was a good time.
Very interesting. So as he mentioned, he works for Quicken Loans. Now, all of us here have, I guess, day jobs, right? So, Brian, I just found you on LinkedIn recently. Yeah, and so I'm like, you kind of do something similar to what I do. You do technical recruiting, right?
Correct.
I'm a talent brand manager for a tech company.
Wow.
And I work very closely with our technical recruiting.
That's weird.
Right. So lots in common.
Very much.
And this summer I'm working as a tech recruiting consultant.
Well,
There
damn.
you go. Some weird similarities. And it's come the fact that, when you got out of the car, had an old colleague that I worked with down in Florida that I didn't even know that lived here in Michigan. And then he got out of the car. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Rob, that's you? And you know him, so.
Yeah,
and
it's
he did
getting
tech
weirder.
recruiting as well.
Exactly.
So
It's getting
wow.
weird.
Wow.
It's very weird
Wow.
right now. Small world.
It's all meant to be. We're all supposed to cross paths for a
Absolutely.
reason, for many different reasons.
Absolutely.
Well, I thought with this show, I know, like you said, with Alternative Facts Chicago, it's all about, entertainment, sports, music, but also very centered around the city of Chicago. This
Right.
30, 30, and Thriving is very similar. I mean, the name, I think, is a little bit misleading because it's more about me, but it was supposed to be about my journey through music, entertainment, being in the city of Detroit, things like that. I'm a huge music fan. I'm into entertainment and also very much involved in the city of Detroit. So I thought it would be cool to have a show where we could talk about how you can pursue your passion in entertainment, whether it's something you do on the side as you have a day job, or if it's something that you get into fully as your full-time gig, and
Correct.
maybe one day you'll get there with the podcast or with the beatboxing, I'm sure. But so I kind of wanted to talk about, like, at what point do you decide, okay, when does it go from hobby to something you're pursuing professionally, either as your day job or as your extracurricular profession?
Yep.
When does that happen?
I think I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of, still passionate and doing it full time. How it started for me was we had the podcast. We started, 2017, and I worked full time for a different company called Hayes, which is where I knew Rob at. Huge company, but had to work on site every single day in downtown Chicago. And as the podcast started growing and got, a lot of success, I started realizing, hey, we actually have something here. And that just felt more like a true passion as opposed to more recruiting. I like it. I'm good at it. I'm successful at it. But not sure that's what I wanted to do every single day for the rest of my life. So as the podcast started growing, I kind of realized, you can do recruiting remote anytime you want. So the company that I work for now ended up leaving Hayes in October of 2017. I found this remote company that I work for now to where I can work 100% remote. We have an office downtown, never have to go to it. So that kind of helps out for me to where I can do the podcast because, with doing it and being successful, the social media, the networking, the events, it takes a lot of time. People think, oh, you just do a podcast, you do something 1 hour a week. Absolutely not. Like, if you want to have a fly-by-night podcast, absolutely. But, we have bigger goals and visions for it. So it takes a lot of time. It's very time-consuming. So working full-time, I can do that and be able to juggle the podcast at the same time. So right now it's still a passion and a side hobby, but, we have some sponsors. We're making money off of it. So long-term goal is definitely be doing it full-time.
Awesome. So I know you didn't decide as a 10-year-old boy that you want to grow up and be a podcast host.
Not at all. Not at all. I will say this, that I did an internship in radio like my senior year of college. I went to Central Michigan.
Hey, I'm a chip, too.
5-year-up chip.
Damn,
That is just really weird. That's probably how you know Travis Neller, my best friend. So
it's not, but yeah, he's a chip too. Yeah.
Crazy. This is getting even crazier. What up, Trav, if you're listening? So, I did an internship at 102.5 WILG in Saginaw my senior year. Loved it. Best internship ever. And I kind of wanted to get into radio, but at the time I was like, radio people don't make any money. So I kind of fell back off of it. Stupid idea because I like, being on camera, like being in front of a mic. I thought I was really good at it. So life happened, things changed, ended up in recruiting. Very good at that. But, started the podcast. I was like, oh, man, it's good. We get traction. We get a lot of listeners. So that's kind of how it happened.
Awesome. So funny enough, I was offered an internship at a radio station up in Lansing called Power 96.5.
Yep.
And I turned it down because radio hosts don't make any money. And so but I had the same idea, though. I was like, that would be so cool. And then I got offered the internship, and I was like, at the same time, I had an actual paid job offer, and I was like, money talks. So I went that way. But funny enough, you always find your way back, right?
Always.
So despite the fact that I didn't take that internship, here I am hosting my own podcast.
There you go.
Things just have a way of kind of working out. So
there you go.
I think it's pretty awesome. So I've been dying to ask you to do some beatboxing. Hunter, would you be able to do you have how does that work? Is it do you have pre-planned beats in your head or
So yeah,
I don't know, when you write songs, you write them. How does it work with beatboxing? Do you
typically we have set routines. I say we because that's generally the streamline. You prepare for the big events in the beatboxing community, not necessarily the performing community, are the battles. And it's not really the battle that's, I guess, the big part of it. It's really the camaraderie and the jam sessions and the routines you create with other people. Mm-hmm. And then you write those down, and that's what you prepare for the battles. So
wait, but how do you write them down? How do you write out?
I guess so I have reminders, for example, I have the sound and that's a lip roll. So if I have a beat that starts with a lip roll, I'll write that down, and I'll have the general flow. If I have the lyrics, I'll write those lyrics down. And I'll be okay, so I do some bass with some melody right here, and just kind of reminders that reminders for myself when I go on stage. I look at the name of my routine, I like know the general flow of what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you practice them enough, like, I can do like 3, 4, 5-minute routines the same exact way every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's freestyles as well.
So if you were to listen to a melody, would you be able to create your own beat over it?
Oh yeah. Just like a song and beatbox over it, easy.
Okay, I know we've got some static here. Sorry.
It's okay.
So you just would create your own beatbox over the melody.
Yeah,
That's so awesome. Okay, so do you have a routine that you can do for us?
sure, I could do one.
I don't mean to put you on the spot,
No,
but
that's fine.
Should have known what happened.
No, I figured.
All right, he's taking a drink. He's got it moisten his
Yeah.
mouth.
Let's see. Do we know the song "Come Get Her" by Ray Schremer? Somebody
I know that
come
song.
yeah.
get
I know that
her.
song.
Oh yeah, she's yep.
I know that
So I have a
song.
little routine for that song.
Okay.
I could do. Somebody come get her, she's dancing like a. Somebody come get her, she's dancing like a. Get ready for the whistle.
That's
incredible.
amazing.
That's incredible.
I'm so fascinated because I'm terrible at coordination, and so the fact that you're making that many different noises with your mouth at the same time, I'm like, how is that all coming from him?
Thank you. No.
That's
Appreciate it.
awesome.
That was great.
So for you, hold on one second. I think we need to fix his mic, right? No? We're good? Okay. So for you, how did you get into deciding to beatbox? Like,
There you go.
in terms of, obviously, you have a day job, you went to college, all of that stuff. And you said, you kind of knew you could do this with your noise. What made you decide to, because some people just have talents and they just live about their lives. They never pursue it. What made you decide to actually start pursuing it? And how did you go about finding out who to talk to or where to look?
Yeah, I guess I've always known I was good at it, and that's kind of just been via like people saying that's a cool sound effect or you're good at beatboxing, and it's just always something I've been good at. But I'm good at like a number of things, whether it be very good or just moderately good. So I guess finding out what to pursue is kind of difficult. But I always find myself centering my ideas around what can I do using what I love, and what I love has been beatboxing. So like over the past couple years, I've been like, can I teach speech therapy through beatboxing? Can I tutor beatboxing? What can I do? And I was like, I want to be this performer. I got to make a name for myself. And like with anything else I do in life, like if I want to be good at it, I typically look at like what successful people do. So I've looked, at like world champions, try to become friends with them, on Instagram. I'll try to like copy their routine and be like, yo, I did your routine. And then I'll get them to like it, comment it. And by this point, I've like at least connected with, the number of people that I need to connect with, like in the beatboxing scene, figured out how they did it. And some of these people are my best friends now. And it's a part of it's, at least in this scene, it's going and battling, making a name for yourself, meeting people, networking. And then, people find out you're good, you have your own niche. They find, they realize your uniqueness and originality, what you can offer to like specific projects. And then they hit you up if you just, you have the good network and you stay consistent with communication.
Okay, so let me ask you, do you stay working your full-time job and pursuing that because it's like your plan B, or how do you feel about plan A, plan B type thing?
Okay, yeah, I guess that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Personally, it's not something I can do as a day job right now. I can go and, downtown Detroit, I can go put out, my 5-gallon bucket and go busk on my amp and microphone all day and come out with, good money. I mean, I don't know what I'll be making every different day. So like, it's not stable and it's not something I can really rely on right now. But like I'm working full time when I'm not in the office, like trying to figure out my next moves. Who can I talk to? Who can I jam with to get better? Who can I, where can I get a performance? So I wouldn't say it's plan A, plan B, but I'm definitely using my full-time job that I'm actually passionate about right now as like a stepping stone to do what I want to do for the rest of my life, kind of.
Perfect. So Brian, I'm asking you the same question. Plan A, plan B. Do you look at it that way? Like you're working your full-time career and you went to college and all of that as like a plan B in case this doesn't work, or do you feel like, no, I'm just doing that, but this is the only plan. The podcast and doing what I want to do with that is the only plan.
Well, before last year, it wasn't a plan at all. So the fact that it came out of nowhere is pretty crazy. When we started on a whim, me and my old co-host, and we didn't really realize he would get traction like that. 'Cause, there's a million, dozens, there's a lot of podcasts out there. Everyone has one. What I find is most aren't good, most aren't planned. They're not really stable as well too. So once we started gaining some traction, and I realized it was fun more than anything else. It doesn't feel like work.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a passion of something that doesn't feel like work, like I'm excited to do it every day, or the social media, the networking that comes around, all the events that you get to do, it's just a lot of fun for me. So I think now at that point that became Plan A, to where now obviously everyone has bills, they got rent and all that too. So you have to make your daily income in order to survive, which I'm still doing. And, my real day job, I do it well. I've been doing it for 7 years now. So I have a good backing to be able to do that and work remote and still do the podcast, full time. Essentially, I treat that as full time. Me and my co-host, we work very hard at it. We don't just treat it as like a side hobby.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of realize that there's a lot of opportunities that can come with it, because people don't know that the podcast industry is about $1 billion industry. They made about $1 billion in 2017. A lot of people really don't realize that, but you have to actually put the work in it too. So we know long-term there's a big check coming for us and waiting, and it's only a matter of time because we believe it. And it's funny that we have, a lot of goals that we created at the beginning of 2018. I write down a lot of goals, and we've been checking them off one by one, whether we know it or not. So we've done a lot of the goals that we have for 2018. So I know that, bigger things are to come as we continue to grow, because we do very well and we work hard at it. So
awesome. So let me ask you, you do your podcast basically remotely, right? Like wherever you go. So
we have a studio in Chicago that we do use as well too. We only use it for when we have guests come in to, into the city and when I meet with us personally. So obviously with social media and obviously with technology, we can do it for pretty much anywhere through apps and things like that too. So Brittany and I don't always have to be together to record an episode.
Right. See, that's awesome, because I do everything through the studio and I always have guests. So for me, that makes sense for me right now. But I do like the idea of being able to doing it remote, and not always having to have all the hosts there at the same time if you have multiple hosts, and being able to do events and things like that, I think is awesome as well. And so I see you're really active in the city of Chicago and doing. You was it the paper, what was it?
Last weekend?
Yeah.
We were in Lansing for Common Ground.
No. Yeah, you were. So y'all covered Common Ground too?
Yeah, I did Common Ground.
I didn't even know that.
I did it last Saturday. I was there. It was Logic. And NF was there too. I didn't do Sunday. Sunday was like Gucci Mane, Kevin Gates. I didn't make it for Sunday.
So when you do these events, you have a media pass, so you're able to get in, get close, all of that stuff.
Absolutely. So the goal is, you want to contact the company because they, it's free promo for them to go out and cover it. So you want to go out and be at the event, talk to people, so that way you have stuff or content to talk about on next week's episode. So we've done that. I've done, quite a few festivals in Chicago, like Spring Awakening, Lollapalooza, North Coast, a lot of those as well too. I'm actually going to a festival down in Austin. It's called Float Fest, I think, in a couple of weeks down there too as well. So it's like easy free promo for them too as well. The big thing about podcasts is a lot of times you're just a voice, which a lot of times when you're just a voice, you're literally just a voice.
Right. In
order for things to grow and get bigger and to brand yourself, you actually have to like be out and do events. So I always like tell people, don't just be a voice, because people get sick of just hearing a voice all the time.
Right.
You got to put your face out there. You have to like, be out in events, get to meet people and networking too. So we try to do that a lot, and we do it pretty well. And we're hosting this event called Glapinova. It's a huge event in Chicago.
That's what I was talking about, I think. There you go.
Yeah,
I was like, that wasn't it. I'm getting there, though.
It's called Glapinova. I'll send it out later, because I can't even spell it myself.
Sounds
but
tough.
It's an event. It's a huge, big event center where they have, different hosts, celebrities, athletes, artists of all walks of life come in. People that are actors, actresses as well too. They just have different rooms. You can have panel sessions, Q&A sessions, and for the first time ever, they're having a podcast panel session, and they're having me and my co-host Brittany. They're having this whole podcast moderate the entire thing. So it's pretty cool. It'll be the first time it's ever done, so we can add that to our bucket list.
That sounds really exciting.
It'll be awesome.
Yes. Okay. So just as a reminder, you guys, so the podcast that he does is called Alternative Facts Chicago. And obviously it sounds really dope. So you probably want to find that, follow that, all of that.
Check it out.
So normally about midway through the show, we do a music break where we play a local, when I say local, that term is loose. So a Michigan-based artist for the most part. And so today we have a song called EXO. And this is by somebody by the name of AJ. official is the Instagram. So on Instagram, the username is actually _studio108, but the name is AJAY official. And so we have that ready. We'll go ahead and play that now, and hopefully when we get back, we'll have the rest of our guests.
Man, I touched it, huh?
No,
No, it's my fault.
I was like, where is the static? What is going on? Okay, they're here. We're here. I said we're on break. Hurry up.
Shorty told me that she never made love. Shorty told me that she never had trust. Well, it's about time you had both of. Yeah, I cherish all your time cause it's worth something. I'll be on your mind like you hit something. Call you on the phone about 3 something. Talking all night long about 3 somethings. I'll be your lover, your homie, your friend.
This one? Yeah, sure.
I'll ride or die till the end. Yeah, I'll spend the last of my ends. You'll come first, then me at the end. Hey, girl, I bet you'll love me if I touch your
That was
body
probably
like
gonna
this.
talk about that.
Yeah, no, I heard it.
That's
I'm
not-
done.
Touch your body like this. I'ma make you fall in love.
Right.
I'ma make you fall in love.
All right. Right.
Yeah, you messing with a real one. Always go high when I hear something. Have you laying in the bed like you took something? I give a dope dig like a porn star.
I'm playing the intro at the end.
I'ma knock it out like a home run.
Oh, yeah.
Beat it up like a stepchild.
Well, y'all would have had to send me the MP3 in advance. Yeah. But I can play it next time and be like, oh, from our guest last week or whatever. I can
Fuck
show.
with it. If you can fuck with it, you fall in love with it. I bet you'll love me if I touch your body like this. Hey girl, I bet you'll trust me if I touch your body like this. I'ma make you fall in love with it. I'ma make you fall in love with it. With all the ways that I can love you, baby, I just wanna show you I can drive you crazy. Pick your ass up.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Go a couple rounds. You the one I got you screaming out EXO. Let me know she like them. You the best show. I said you, baby, don't gas me up, though. Hey, girl, I bet you'll love me if I touch your body like this. Hey, girl, I bet you'll trust me if I touch your body like this. I'ma make you fall in love with it. I'ma make you fall in love with it.
Hey, and we're back. And that was the most perfect timing ever because as soon as we went on break to listen to the song, our guests arrived. So it worked out well. Again, that song was called EXO by AJ on Instagram. You can find him at _studio108. So with us, we have someone who's already been on the show before, Christian Nelson.
How y'all doing?
What's
All
up?
right, what's going
What's
on?
up?
Salute. Yeah, you know it.
And we have Big Vine, right? Vine,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What's up, Queen?
how you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Great. So we've already kind of done our introductions and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the podium right now and allow you to introduce yourself to the world and talk a little bit about what you're doing here in Detroit.
Okay. Producer, songwriter, manager. Born and raised Detroit. Reside in Atlanta, Georgia now. Back visiting. We in town. I'm actually in town for a few other things, visiting family and for the Big Three basketball league. Something that Ice Cube put together. Shout out to Ice Cube. And the game here for Detroit is this Friday at Caesars Arena. So anybody that want to go to big3.com, get your tickets this Friday. Check us out. One of the biggest things in sports right now, basketball.
Okay, so what's your involvement with the Big Three?
Actually, the music part.
Okay.
You know, I've been working with Cube for maybe since 06, 07. You know, so I've been involved in some of his music, you know,
Okay.
for that amount of time, and just blessed to have that relationship.
So your full-time gig is songwriter, producer, manager, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How did
Along
you-
with other things, you know.
Along with other, of course, we all got 50,000 hats we wear. anybody who does entrepreneurial stuff or entertainment stuff is doing a million things. But how did you get into that? Like, at what point did you start doing that full time?
I started when I was in actually high school. I started off as a rapper. Put together a little group, me and a couple of friends of mine. From there, I figured out I was the tallest, and I said, let me sit back and look at this here. They were short. I'm the tallest in the group. I said, I don't think I should go ahead and be a part of this. So I took up business management and got a degree in that. Went to Eastern. Graduated from Belleville. I'm saying everything backwards. But my friends, they pursued, other things. I stayed with it and pursued music and entertainment and, found my niche in it and decided to go full-fledged with a management company and production company.
So you got a degree in business management,
yes, ma'am.
And then you use that essentially to start off basically tying it in with your passion for music and creating your own management company so that you could focus on music?
Oh yeah, most definitely. This was something I thought I'd never be doing because I was, used to hoop, play basketball for Belleville and for Eastern. And that left me, and I guess God, veered to another path and said, hey, you need to go this route. So I've been doing it for about 19 years now. My daughter was born in 99, so yeah, almost 20.
Okay.
Blessed to be in it.
Awesome. So I was asking them earlier, they both, Brian here, he hosts his own podcast, and Hunter is a beatboxer, and both of them.
Dope.
Oh yeah, you missed it. See, he wasn't even here
missed the whole
earlier. He
intro.
laid it up. We might have to.
Blame it on the traffic.
Yeah, Hunter, we might have to have
We
you do it
wanted to
again.
redo anyway.
Yeah. We'll have him do it again before the end of the show. But yeah, so I was talking to them about basically how you go from how do you turn your passion into something that you're serious about? So you said for you it was just like it just kind of happened. You was going to school, you just decided to create your own management company. Obviously, you continue to get involved with more and more stuff outside of that, right? So when did you get into managing artists?
I look at it like, this, I continued because I consider myself as a leader. I wanted to lead people and bring out their talent. A lot of people are scared to pursue their talent, but when you're around somebody that can bring it out, push it out, so that's what really made me get into the management field because I was just seeing a lot of different talent. And I'm like, wow, everybody looking over certain people. And I'm like, okay, y'all looking over this, let me go in and step in and see what I can do. So it made an outlet for me to go into hip hop and other, genres of music to look for certain artists, whether it's, it's R&B, rap, pop, rock. I love all music. You know what I'm saying? So when I see talent, I try to do my best to make it happen to further their career.
So how do you know when you find talent that you're really interested in? What is it that stands out that makes you say, okay, I need to really
They got to
look
be
into
unique,
this?
very different from what's out there now. I don't look for everything that's going on right now. It's a wave of the same stuff going on in the industry, especially in hip hop. And I try to look for stuff that's unique and different, something I can attach to quickly, and brand it, So, like I said, a lot of people don't know that they're talented. They don't know that they got it until you run into somebody like me that can see it and pull it out you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to help, and I think, that's my gift and my purpose in life,
Okay.
and I ran with it.
Awesome.
God has opened up so many doors for me, and it's a blessing because when I was younger, I used to sit back and watch Ice Cube, Scarface, Russell Simmons, who else? Run DMC, and say, one day I want to work with these guys. The more you say that and speak it in existence, God is going to open that door for you to go through that and work with those people. And a lot of people don't look at it like that. They just think, hey, they going through life thinking somebody going to give them a free handout. You really got to work for it and believe in yourself. So if you don't do that, then, you stuck.
Right. So now you brought Christian with you. So how do y'all know each other?
Well, we've actually known each other. We've been working together about 4 months now. We got a lot of mutual acquaintances.
Yeah.
And what happened was some of my family members know his brother and vice versa.
Yeah.
And we met in actually the church house officially. We was just like, we were leaving out, and he, he was like, so what do you do? I'm hearing about you. And I'm like, what do you do? I'm hearing about you. And so the rekindling and the kind of we're bringing my album back out again, and Vaughn is actually helping me. I got a couple records on the Big 3 soundtrack that we've been working on, and also some other lanes of business that we've been connecting on. I do a lot of brokering too, so me and Vaughn have just been connecting the dots, just like this situation here. We do that down south in Atlanta. We do that everywhere we go, from Miami to LA, wherever, we're connecting the dots, and we're trying to make people understand that's what it's all about. Stop making everything so personal.
Right.
You know, get to the business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, and we've basically magnified that, and we've got some huge things coming on. And like,
That's so
I'm excited about the music
yeah.
part. Like, he's really, we're getting back in the studio. He's pushing me a little bit more. Like, I've kind of lost a little bit of the passion for music, just kind of with the whole state of the game, you know, and he's kind of brought a little bit more of that fire out that I had, you know.
I
what
love
I mean?
it. And I love the connecting the dots. I know Brian or Hunter, see, I told you the Hunter, man, it's messing me up.
Yeah, it's weird.
But Hunter, you was talking about how earlier the way you kind of got into beatboxing, you just started reaching out to people. You started connecting yourself with others and building those relationships to where now they're some of your best friends. And I mean, you make those connections. Not only do they help you grow professionally, but it can help personally too. Y'all met in the church house, so it was like God aligning.
Bam,
Quite
like,
literally.
so,
You always want to keep people around you, man, that you see that's on the same skill level, you know, that you can, you know, interact with right away. And I look for that with people that I meet, like you guys right now. You know, I see something like, man, okay, this brother, this sister, well, you know, I click with them.
Right.
You don't click with a lot of people every day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and when you do, you'll know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, with this guy here, that's how we click. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I look for. And like, anybody can say they're your friend, but are they really your friend?
Right.
Do they really have your back? Are they really supporting you?
Right.
Are they really taking your brand and helping you push it? That's what it's all about today. If you're not going to support each other, help push each other's brand, build each other up, then what's the point of even having a friend or being a friend?
Exactly. For sure.
You know?
For sure. And that's what, you know, definitely what this podcast is about is connecting the dots, you know, networking, building, helping to leverage relationships with one another. And that's why every time I have a show, I bring on guests who can come and they can promote their brand, they can promote their business, whatever it is that they're doing, and then continue, build relationships. So I have, you know, people from my first and second show that's still rocking, you know, 6 shows in because they make that connection. Like, we going to be best friends. Like, we're going to connect. And I know, Brian, you were talking about that with your podcast too. Like making those connections.
Absolutely. A lot of where we got to where we are at this point is because of the connections that I've had. You know, being able to go to all the festivals and concerts that I get to go to. It's not just the fact, obviously our show is good, but it's the fact that I reach out to people. I use people that I know or went to school with or college with or just acquaintances, like you guys said. It's very, very important. A lot of people want a handout. I'm going to work for it, but at the end of the day, you'll never get to where you want to go if you don't ask.
Right.
The only thing people can say is no. You know how many no's I've gotten in my life? Thousands, millions, and I'll get a ton more.
Oh, you're a tech recruiter, so I can imagine.
Exactly. You know, I get a loads on. It's not a big deal to me. If you say no, I'll go to the next person. But you got to network. You got to put yourself out there. A lot of people want to get to where they want to go, but not putting themselves out there, it's just not going to work. So I think that's why our podcast is successful, because we put ourselves out there. We're very planned. You know, we have an agenda. We don't just wake up every day and, you know, just go do it. You know, we actually have a plan of how we want to attack it, and you just execute. And I think it's very important. And I'm glad that you guys are here today to get to meet you guys, because, you know, we're still growing, you know, we're still developing. But at the end of the day, it's always good to network with good people. So, you know, I'm glad to be here today.
And Amber, we salute you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, yo.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think for me, you know, my first love really is music. And Christian, that's how me and you really connected years and years and years ago, was on music. And so for me, I've always kind of figured out a way to have my hand in it. And this podcast is just another opportunity for me to have my hand in music some way, shape, or form. And I mean, the more opportunities that kind of present themselves from this podcast continue to push me more and more into the music industry. And I think, even like Brian was saying, like, he's super into music. He was at Common Ground covering. Did you guys go to Common Ground?
I heard about it. We were in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was back in
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a great festival. It's gotten a lot better.
It
The
looks
lineup was
too,
good. You know, good vibes. I had a good time there.
Yeah, for sure. And there's just a ton of opportunities like that, and where you can be involved in the music industry and stuff like that. So, but I appreciate it from like your perspective, doing writing, producing, management, because I think my love for music really first started out with the lyrics and wanting to write really good lyrics. And so I wrote my first song at 8 years old.
Really? Wow.
8 years old. And I pop out songs like, give me 15, 20 minutes. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? It's always been a passion of mine, writing music. And then I was like, well, singing, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just, I think somebody who has the ability to take music and write, produce, sing, or whatever, when you can do multiple things with it, I think that's just beautiful.
And you know what's crazy, not to cut you off,
No,
like,
you're good.
a lot of people don't even know they have talent like that. I didn't know how to do none of this. I watched everybody that I managed. And I'm like, man, okay, that's how you do it? Okay, let me get behind this, you know, and cook up a beat, or let me write, you know what I'm saying? I watched everybody I managed. I said, you know, this is talent that was brought out of me by watching, helping others achieve their goals and taking them to the top. Everybody that I've managed has become successful in their career.
Are you able to say a couple of the artists that you've managed?
Yeah, go ahead.
You said
Like
from
name,
Detroit?
Yeah, name some people.
Ooh, wow.
Not even just from Detroit, just anybody.
Let's see. Tonton.
Okay.
I was Tonton's first manager. Symphony, producer from her name Symphony. Me and Helliver produced actually T Grizzly's music and damn everybody in Detroit. You know, me and Helliver go way back.
Because Helliver is on some of Nisha and the Shay stuff, right?
Yeah, all of it, pretty much.
It's all, yeah, okay.
Who else? Oh man, let me think. Short Dog. He was a Houston rapper. I don't know if y'all remember him. Short Dog. He was from Houston, but he was here with Breaks.
Yep.
I helped Short Dog get his deal with Russell Simmons Music Group. He actually got signed over there. I solidified that whole situation. Who else? Man, I left from Detroit in 2010 and went to Atlanta. You know, and that's when I furthered my career in the music and everything. So I built up here. You know, did what I did here, and then I left. You know, and went down to the A, so I can sow more seeds. You know, and pull talent out.
So how do you find talent? Do you go to a ton of events and shows? Do you got people sending you stuff?
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah. I got about 9 emails.
Okay.
So people send me music all over the world. You know, I would listen to any and everything. I'm not. You know, some A&Rs may listen to the first or second, records and then throw it away if it's no good.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you got a hit until you listen to everything that somebody send you. And I'm that type of guy that I will listen to all the music. And so I'm like, okay, well, I found something. Here's a star right here. And I always been like that. You send me some music, I'm going to listen to it all. You know, a lot of people look at me like crazy, like, yo, that music's trash. I'm like, okay, let me decide that. Let me make that decision.
Because, Prince got turned down at first. There's a lot of hot-ass artists that people
man,
turn down. Yeah. So, like, somebody like you're really important, I think, to the industry because you do take the time to really listen out for that unique something that's going to stand out and make somebody something.
Most definitely.
And not a lot of people, some people just like, oh, if it's not hot, if it's not trending right now, if it doesn't go with the current sound or the current trends, then I'm not trying to hear it. I know because I listen to I watch a lot of Facebook Lives for A&R, people who have contacts with A&R who do live listenings. And I'm listening to them like, I get so frustrated. Like, I be ready to break my phone because I'm like, first of all, this is garbage and you over here hyping it up. Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Or, like, play the next song. I just get so irritated. I can't.
But you know why they hype it up? Because they see it's a trend and they see they got all the followers. This is the, man,
break it down.
Hip-hop has changed so much, y'all. I can give y'all a whole throttle. I know we only got a little bit of time, but I've been in this game a while. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling my age, but I've been in it a while. I've watched it zen it over to like bull crap, pretty much. It's not what it used to be. That's why I'm glad I'm around people and OGs in the game that showed me the ropes and showed me real music. Bone Crusher, one of my homies. Good guy, man. Good guy. You know what I'm saying? When I got to Atlanta, showed me nothing but love. Opened up his door for me to meet everybody else. JD, you know what I'm saying? Yin Yang Twins. These is guys that had multiple hits. You know what I'm saying? So I salute Bone Crusher. Shout out to Bone Crusher. Because he a good brother. Like, this one of the guys has been in the business for longer than I have, had platinum records, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can't even reach people like that. That's what people don't understand. You can't get to these people. Mm-hmm. But once they see you good-hearted, you know what I'm saying, you on the same, skill levels in me, and you become friends.
Right.
As soon as I got to the A, I befriended a lot of people in the industry. Mm-hmm. So I'm blessed to have these relationships, so I want to be able to help others, you know what I'm saying, and grow. You know what I'm saying, and do things to where it cultivate and bring out their talent.
Awesome. I have a question. I know it's kind of off subject a little bit, but are you able, Hunter, to do, like, if he was to name a song, would you be able to?
If I knew the song, definitely.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's just.
Okay, we're going to try something.
Alrighty.
On the fly, we're going to try something.
Let's get
All right,
it.
Vaughn, name a song,
Let's get it.
and let's see if Hunter can do some sort of routine. So I don't know, what do I call it? Call it a beat or routine?
It's a
Okay,
beat or
so
whatever
you
it
name a
was.
song, Hunter's going to do a routine to it.
Okay,
Oh, man. All right, let's see.
The homie, one of my favorite artists, Ice Cube, today was a good day.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Can you do that one?
I could go for it. I never did it before. Let's start with a little instrumental. that was a hard one, but
Okay. Yeah, definitely. My God.
And you was on the spot too. Yes,
I'll
yes.
give you some original
That's
stuff.
dope.
Yeah,
like-
what you got original? I just want to see what you can do.
I
Yeah.
could flow for a little bit, just like some. Okay.
Wow.
Crazy.
Ooh, okay.
That's
Yeah, so
nice.
talent over here.
Talent
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes, where my bell at?
There you go.
Thank you.
How long
Okay.
have you been doing that or work? I just so
I've been making noises for a long time, but I've been beatboxing, like taking the skill and passion seriously for about 5 years now. Like just seriously, at like right after I got out of high school, I was like, I know I'm on my own now. Like I can spend as much time as I want on this. I could focus. I know how to allocate my time. So I was like,
And people can make some
me
real
focus
money
on
off that. Sorry, we're questioning you now.
oh yeah, no,
I know y'all. Damn, y'all host my show. Like,
Sorry. This is intriguing to me. Like, you can make some real money off this?
definitely make real money.
That's dope.
Okay.
I'm definitely just getting into like the mainstream scene, secular
Okay.
scene.
Okay.
Typically how it's gone for me and how it's gone for a lot of beatboxers I know is like, they made this name in this battle scene. And that's like I said earlier, that's like where the big, at least where the big events in the community are. Make a name for in this battle scene. And you're showing off all your technical skills, your musicality, all that sort of thing, uniqueness. Once you do that, you have a name for yourself. You kind of go up on stage and people start hiring you as a performer. You start reaching out. Just at work, people host like private gigs or like with their team and like, they know this dude beatboxes. So they're like, hey, can you throw on a 5-minute set for our thing? And then, just network at the event. If they're hiring you, probably other people there could hire you. So I'm just networking there. And there's definitely a lot of money. I know, off the top of my head, I could, name a couple of beatboxers, like this guy named Hiss, this guy named Codfish, just random dudes that make full-time livings off of beatboxing.
Wow, okay.
And I sat down with, it was actually I had really cool experience last November. I went to New York City for the American Beatbox Championships, where I ended up doing well and placing one. Had a great time. One of the coolest experiences is at the end of the competition, who was it? Dougie Fresh and Rozelle from The Roots came up, performed a little tag team beatbox.
Okay.
And after they had a one-on-one session with me, and they were just like talking about how you were talking about a little earlier, how hip hop's like changing a little bit, how like we could bridge the gap between old school and new school, how like beatboxing's a part of like the real one of the real 5 elements of hip hop. We got dance, rap, and beatbox as part of them. So I guess there's real money to be made in it, and it's just kind of finding the niche, finding the opportunity. A lot of it's not like just straight voice, so that's why I'm working with stuff like loop stations. Why I'm trying to like package my beats and sell sound packs to producers, whatever it may be. Just trying to find the money in that a little bit.
Okay.
that's so
That's dope,
exciting.
man.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Did you get that footage with Dougie?
Yeah, no, I think I have some actually. I'm
That's
gonna try to pull it up
classic
while
right
we're doing
there.
this.
Yeah, that's
I
classic.
definitely have pictures on my Facebook, so
Okay, dope.
Definitely
dope.
have those.
You got to connect. You
Yes,
gotta
sir.
definitely connect.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. So do you have to listen to a lot of music then to kind of like? I mean, it would seem like you got to be really in touch with music.
yeah, I couldn't even tell you the number of styles I've listened to of music, like just in general. I've always loved music. I've had my phases. I can name the top 50 hip hop artists right now, but I could also probably name you the top 10 country artists and like the top, the top 10, like cool jazzy groovy artists, electronic artists. So I'm listening to tons of music all the time, just figuring out different rhythmic patterns, different percussive patterns, different melodies, how I could change it up and be unique. So yeah, listening to music's a huge part of how you kind of gain your own style also.
For sure. So what would you say inspires you? Like, how do you get inspired? How do you get into your zone where you about to put a set together or a routine together? What inspires you or gets you in that zone?
I guess it's changed over time, but recently I've just been told, like, especially in such a niche community like beatboxing, the best people typically are doing like a lot of the same things. A lot of the best people are doing a lot of the same things, and a lot of it's like similar techniques, similar things. So I mean, I go up on stage being motivated by like people telling me how like unique my performance style is, or like how good of a blank I am, and I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna go up there and like I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna show, I'm gonna remind everybody like how unique I are. And when I do beatboxing, and I know there's people, I used to take it a lot harder when people used to say like, you're trash. But like, stuff like that. But like that stuff that I can honestly like brush off the shoulder now, because I think about it, and I know so many people that tell me, how many people have told me I'm playing like, I don't know what it may, like a hip hop, a rap song, a country song. I don't like that song. Like I don't like the music, but this is the #1 song in that genre. Like I think about it like that. Like, for people that know and appreciate music and beatboxing, they know I'm doing the right thing. This person doesn't like me. I mean, they're not feeling me. Go ahead, move on. But like,
exactly.
Like as long as I figured out I was showcasing myself and my uniqueness, and if there are people that are digging it, I was like, that's what I need to do.
That's awesome. So Christian, let me ask you now, what gets you in your zone when you getting ready to write a song, you getting ready to perform? Like, what inspires you? What motivates you or gets you in that zone where you need to be to get in your creative space?
It's such a good question right now because it has a lot to do. I try to gain from what I'm seeing in the industry, but it's kind of hard. My guy is Ryan Leslie. So I go to his, and I've been following him since 2005. So I go to him, and I watch his interviews. I watch like the way the videos are done, the rapping, the singing, the production, some of the song content a lot of times, and I just kind of feed off that. I'll if I need some inspiration, I'll go to his page or his link, and he has just a plethora of like things that he talks about. I mean, from being an entrepreneur to the production piece, to being a lead singer, to being overseas, and to segueing into being an entrepreneur to create the super phone, which is a big deal for him. That's how he's kind of eating now. So I gain it from my people that I look up to.
Okay.
Yeah, people I look up to.
I'm gonna ask you the same thing, Brian. Now, when you get ready, you've got to do a podcast.
Yep.
When I first started, I was like, oh, I want to go like every week. And my girl initially, who was supposed to host with me, not gonna say no names, she's gonna be on the show next week, but she backed out on me. Anyway, she was like, girl, it's a podcast. You're gonna have to come up with new ideas. You should do it like bi-weekly or monthly even. And I was just so excited. Like, no, but I'm even 6 shows in, I'm realizing like, oh, okay, I gotta come up with something for every show. So how do you, is it just current events? Like, how do you get inspired or motivated, or how do you decide what type of content you're going to be delivering?
Yeah, it's important to stay on top of it every week. When we first started, for about the first 3 months, we went bi-weekly. But, we started having a lot of success very quickly. So, with content moves quickly in social media age. So we realized, our fan base that we were growing to, we had to go every single week. So it's very hard. That's what I was saying, that even though it's not a full-time job, you got to treat it as it is, because with social media and content moves so quickly, you got to stay on top of it. So while I'm working and doing my real job, and I do the side hustle too with the podcast, it's like, I always got to stay on top of current events, like what's going on in the news. And what we do throughout the week is we take notes. Like if a big event happened, take a note down, and then a couple days before we plan the next episode, we kind of come up with the format for the episode. And obviously, being in Chicago, we always try to keep up with current Chicago events for everything Chicago segment, to have like 3 or 4 Chicago topics as well too. So it's a lot of work. You got to stay on top of it. You can pick and choose, week to week, what's important to talk about. We try to always find things that people aren't talking about all the time. Like we don't just always find the top stories every single week, because everyone's going to be talking about that. What are some topics that people aren't talking about necessarily that'll hook the listeners in? So we try to focus on that part too. So it's a lot of work, but me and my co-host, we try to, we juggle that pretty well. I think that's why we're pretty successful.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So same question to you, Vaughn. So you're writing, when you trying to write something, or you got to go and work hard on producing a record or whatever, like how do you get in that space or that zone, or what inspires you to really?
Water. sitting aside, the water. If you're on a beach or a lake, I find that it's very relaxing, peaceful when you're alongside water, river, anything. So, that helps me in the writing, anything that I want to put together. Like I'm working on my book right now about my life, and I wrote about 15 pages already just sitting by the water. Also, with my team, I don't take credit for everything that I do, because I do have a team that I manage, 4 producers and 3 songwriters, and we all come together collectively and, push out that hit, So I just feel that, in any circumstance, I try to tell people, man, if you got a dream, pursue your dream, whether it's any talent, whatever it may be, never give up, because you never know that shot or that chance you'll get, where you get put in a place where it's going to change your life. I seen so much happen, man, in this business. Like, people don't understand, like, never give up because you just don't know when. Anything can happen, what I'm saying, it's going to change, So I try to be that positive side, that pretty much motivate people and try to take things to the next level. That's where I get my joy out and, doing anything, whether it's writing, producing, managing, all of that, I'm a people person, so I like to connect, and I live off energy. So if your energy is good, then we gonna work. If your energy is bad, then no, I can't do nothing with you.
Right. I'm huge on energy too, and like you said before,
I
yeah,
think we all are.
that's why. See, that's why we're all here. Because, like you said when you first came in, you're not gonna connect with everybody.
You can't.
But the people that you do connect with, especially if you're big on energy, like that's that meant to be connection. So whatever it is, whether it's for a reason, a season, or whatever it may be, but you really got to capitalize on that and build off that energy. And I think that, with everything that everybody in this room is trying to do, obviously we're all super excited. We all have really positive, high energy, and to just build off of that, it really, I think, makes a huge difference. For sure. So we have a few minutes left. I want to go around the table and give everyone an opportunity to kind of, leave some last words, give your pitch, shout out whatever, project you're working on, how to follow you, how to find you, all of that stuff. And then we'll wrap up by playing the intro during the outro. Okay. So we'll start with you, Christian. That's why I was looking at you while I was talking. I was like,
yeah. Well, you can always reach me on social media, Christian Nelson Music. I also have my website. You can SaluteTees.com is my T-shirt company, Salute Brand International. It's all about saluting what we're talking about. Like I said, as far as the music, I'm working on a single right now. It's going to be out by the fall. I'm doing a lot of writing for a lot of artists right now, and through what Vaughn is channeling, things have just been great. But like I said, I'm on social media, www.salute-tees.com. Or you can Google me, ChristianNelsonMusic.com. And, I'd love to hear from people and just inspire and encourage people to just keep pushing. Like, I'm going to tell my age. I'm 35 now. You know what I mean?
You say that like you was about to say 44 or something. 35.
I've been around the OGs my whole life. Well, the thing is, a lot of people that have been following me, a lot of my friends and family, they know I've done music for a long time, from the Showtime to Apollo, and writing songs with Carl Thomas's team, and writing songs with Jagged Edge's team, and Ray J, and all these people. Here we are now this year, and things feel like they're opening up. So never stop, man. Just never stop, but make sure it's your passion.
For sure.
That's awesome. So you can find Alternative Fact Chicago on iTunes. We're on Spotify as well, Google Play. You can find us on YouTube as well. Actually, Google has a podcast app now, too, so find us Alternative Fact Chicago. Make sure you always subscribe and leave a review. I always stress that, too. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook, Alternative Fact Chicago. Our Twitter is AFAC Chicago. My personal Twitter is BHUN1984. We appreciate all the love and success. Me being from Detroit, getting this opportunity in, but I really appreciate it. I always like to come back home from Chicago and give love back to the city. I'll always be back. I want to do some more work with you in the future, but make sure you check out our show. It's great. It's dope. Reminder, next week we are at Glappinova. It's glappinova.com. We're moderating the first ever podcast panel session that they're having too. So make sure you come out and support us. It's been a great ride. And my last thing is, never be afraid, like you said, to follow your passion, follow your dream. Never be afraid for anyone to tell you no. It's just a word. You'll get a lot more yeses than nos if you keep trying, and just keep pushing. I really thank you for having us here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. You're welcome. All right, Hunter.
Once again, Hunter Casperson. You can find me I primarily post a lot of my stuff on Instagram at Hunty Beats. You can find me there. Catch my pictures, catch my music. A lot of my stuff, if you're looking for performances in the Detroit area, the Bay Area, and California, that's where I'm from originally. So I'll be out there. That's it. It's a starting thing, so just hit me up. And one thing I wanted to do is shed some light on the beatboxing community before we got out here, because a lot of times when I tell people I'm a beatboxer, it's actually looked as like, something that kids do. And like, it is something that kids do. Kids make noises, and I'm proud to say I'm very youthful. But it's actually a serious thing.
No,
so hey, go take a look. Go take a look at Hunty Beats Instagram. Listen to some music that I have up there. Tell me you still think it's childish, and then I'll probably block you. But no, anyway, you follow me on Hunty Beats. If you're looking for performance opportunities, hit me up. yeah, follow your passion, honestly, because I've gotten told no so many times, and I'm keep going because I love it.
Awesome. Okay, Vaughn.
Well, I think I'm the oldest in the room, so you talking 35, I don't know. I first want to thank you, Amber, for, having me on the show. Appreciate you, Queen Amber. Finding me, I am Big Vaughn on Instagram. My other pages, We Got Hits Productions, my production company. I have 4, actually. I'm just going to give y'all 2. You only need 2. We Got Hits Productions. I am Big Vaughn on Instagram. I do have a Facebook, Thomas Phillips. I really want to, thank God for putting me in a position to where I can help others. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like to do. So anybody with any kind of talent, you can DM me on Instagram, hit me up, you know what I'm saying? Send me a message on there. I will respond. I'm not like all these other cats that's, leave you on scene. You know what I'm saying? You looking at it, you scene. Man, I ain't asking them, but no, it's all about helping, man, and that's my passion. I want to help, you know what I'm saying, and open up doors for people that, they can show their talent. So that's my Instagrams. Like I said, Facebook is Thomas Phillips. I want to shout out, the big homie Ice Cube. If you guys want to go to the Big 3, yes, the Big 3, this Friday, Caesars Arena, Detroit, Michigan. Go get your tickets at big3.com. I will be in the house with Cube. Also, Ann Arbor, Michigan. We will be at Club Netco in Ann Arbor. That's off U of M campus. So if you guys want to come Thursday night, he's coming in for an appearance over there. Let's have some fun, man. It's all about having fun and living life, man. If you can't do that, follow your dreams, pray daily, keep God first, and watch everything open up for you. A lot of people scared to say that, but I'm a firm believer in, in putting God first. You know what I'm saying? And
definitely,
because all the things I've been through in life to where I am right now, without him and without my mom praying for me through different trials and tribulations I went through in life, I wouldn't be here. So
Right.
you got to think. So that's one of the things I'm real big on. Other than that, let's work. Let's get
All right.
it.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Well, I appreciate y'all so much. So we're going to wrap up the show by playing the intro. Now, if you were listening through the break, you heard the artist, AJ, and you can find him at Instagram at _studio108. He's also one part of the intro. The other one is I am YP, and on Instagram, it is I am _YP_music. So those are the 2 artists that did my intro for me. I appreciate it. I love it. Yeah. So check it out, and thank y'all.
Ambitious to go get this, the handle business, the up and rising. This is